Hello everyone, Milton here. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction to my first time watching Batman Begins. Now I've really been looking forward to this one and I'll tell you why. First, a little backstory to those of you who don't know. I grew up in a secluded sort of religious community in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan called the Sibling Brotherhood. Now in the Sibling Brotherhood, I didn't get exposed to much in the way of popular culture or any culture really. Brother Brad only let us experience certain things, read certain things, see certain things, but I had a bit of an ace in the hole. You see, my mom was very big on me being a good reader. I've been told that people are surprised. They think I grew up in a secluded community. They expect me to not have like very good English and stuff like that. But my mom was very big into me being literate and reading and having a good vocabulary. And to do that, she'd often sneak me books. She'd bring me stuff that maybe Brother Brad or even my dad wouldn't have been happy with me reading. She brought me a variety of things over the years. My favorite book she ever brought to me was The Hobbit. I probably read it about 10 times. The other thing that I read and absolutely loved was Batman comics. Now, one day, this family that had been living with us for several years moved out. They left. This is about when I was probably 11, 12 years old. Anyway, my mom and dad were in charge of cleaning it out, making it ready for whoever else showed up, whoever the next suckers were. But when my mom came into our cabin after cleaning that one out, she had a secret surprise for me. Batman comic books. I wasn't familiar with Batman, but oh boy, I this handful of comics here, I kept with me and kept in good shape. Once I came down here, my cousin Daniel put them into these bags and boards, he calls them. They're all mostly from like the late 70s. I think the dad from that family had kept them since he was a kid. I read these like crazy. This one at the top here with the Joker, this one was my favorite. And one with this other hero called the Shadow, where he met Batman. This one right here. These are just... I read these like I said, I read these like crazy. These were my favorites. This is Man Bat. This Man Bat wasn't my favorite. This is my other favorite one. Besides the Joker one, this goes into about how, Batman's parents were killed and this very nice old lady who took care of him afterward. So I don't know much about many other superheroes, including like Superman and Spider-Man and the Avengers and stuff like that, but Batman I was a huge fan of. And I didn't talk about it very much in my previous videos about any of the stuff I read because it was sort of like a secret between my mom and I, and even to this day, I hesitate talking about it to people just sort of out of habit because I wasn't supposed to be reading this stuff. Now, since coming back too, my cousin Daniel's hooked me up with, you can see behind me, he's got lots of comic book collections and stuff. And I've read some other Batman stuff I like this one here, Batman Year One. This is a collection of them again from that same era. I have read these comics like crazy, both the old ones and I've been catching up on new ones. But I've never seen a Batman movie, never seen a Batman show. It was suggested to me that Batman Begins would be the first one that I should watch. So I'm going to go with that. Apparently it's the first of 3 movies, all made by the same people. So let's check out Batman Begins. I'm looking forward to it, and also I'm a little nervous about it. So let's get into it. Oh, I'm very excited. This is when he falls into the cave for the first time. I know this is from one of the newer comic books I read, but I can't remember which one it was. Oh! I know bats are harmless, but if you've ever had a bat or many bats flying to your face, there's no way to not get creeped out. I'm confused at what he's doing in some... He looks like a prison on the other side of the world? I'm a little bit lost right now. I don't quite have my bearings. Wow, okay, whoa! Jeez. I'm having a hard time telling what's going on in this fight. I just know that it involves broken bones. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that is Bruce Wayne.
My name is merely Ducard, but I speak for Ra's al Ghul, a man greatly feared by the criminal.
I know Ra's al Ghul. I know it's in the 70s comics he first showed up. Okay, I had no idea it would be Ra's al Ghul. That's really cool. Interesting to have Ra's al Ghul be the one who he's going to learn from, because Ra's al Ghul's not a good guy. Oof. It'd be funny if he wound up climbing the wrong mountain. He gets to the top, there's nothing there.
What are you seeking?
That's an imposing guy, but that's not how I pictured Ra's al Ghul from the comics.
Tell us, Mr. Wayne, what do you fear?
I fear jump scares in movies. I learned that's what they're called, jump scares. That's what I fear.
Took quite a fall, didn't we, Master Bruce? And why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up.
It's kind of advice I wish I had growing up. Having been raised in a cabin, I can't imagine being, growing up in a house like that. Wow, so that's Gotham City, huh? Is that a real city or is that special effects? I wouldn't know any city to see it just from looking at the buildings. I grew up in a, tiny little, basically what most people would call a campground, and the city I live in now is nowhere near that big either. Oh, is this it? Oof. I knew this was coming, but it's hard to watch. I was always sad seeing this in the comics. I lost my parents when I was an adult. I can't imagine if I was like 8, 9 years old. Just what that would have done to me.
It's okay.
Is that Commissioner Gordon? That's Commissioner Gordon. I'm assuming it looks like him, except he's not gray, and he called him Gordon. When I lost my parents, even though I was an adult, I lost, my mother passed away first, and my dad a couple of years later, and, I wish I had had someone to comfort me like that. So when my dad passed away, Sister Helga, who is the person who took care of the kids in the sibling brotherhood and did our education, stuff like that, our education, she came to the cabin that I'd shared with my parents my whole life. I'll never forget, she knocked on the door, walked in, and I was just sitting in a chair, just kind of almost catatonic, kind of wondering where I was going to go now. My parents were gone, what I was going to do. So Sister Helga, she pulls up a chair across from me. She sits down, looks me in the eye, and says, "Milton, I've known you since you were just a baby." And then she stood up and walked out. That's the closest thing to, comforting by a person I got when my parents passed away. So I can tell you right now, even having a little something means a lot.
Invisible.
Abhi! You must become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent.
I'd like to have some of that stuff. Like anytime I want to leave a situation, just throw it. Bop! Everyone look, I'd leave.
What stopped it?
Vengeance.
That's no help to anyone.
Avenge your parents.
See, the cracks are already starting to show here. I know they're training him to do things, and he's learning to be Batman from them, but the idea of vengeance, it's like your anger almost consumed you. Well, if you're taking vengeance, anger is still consuming you. You're still being driven by anger. So what he's talking about is not what Batman is.
Bruce, I don't suppose there's any way to convince you not to come.
Someone at this proceeding should stand for my parents.
We all loved your parents, Bruce.
Is Rachel from the comics? I don't remember her from any of the comics I've read, but, I've only read,
I cannot.
a small percentage. Oh! I'm actually happy about that. I for a second there, I thought they were going to have Batman shoot somebody, which is not a very Batman thing to do.
Your father would be ashamed of you.
Okay, she's technically right, but I have a question. Does she do anything other than lecture him for the entire movie? Because that's pretty much everything that's come out of her mouth so far, I think.
First time I stole so that I wouldn't starve. Yes, I lost many assumptions about the simple nature of right and wrong.
I like this. He's putting himself into the, real world, down in the gutters to see what it's like. I don't like the looks of this. Yeah, no. That's right, no.
Bureaucrats.
What? Oh, what are you?
Society's laws.
Someone who wants vengeance? No.
Gotham's time has come. Like Constantinople or Rome before it.
Oh, they're crazy. I know what's going on here.
This is the most important.
I can see through this. This is what happens when you take a group of people with certain ideas and they isolate themselves. They take themselves out of society. I'm not going to tell you. I didn't grow up in the League of Shadows. I grew up in a, well, let's just call it what it is. I grew up in a cult led by people who I've come to know wouldn't be taken seriously for 1 second outside the group that we lived in. But anyway, when you isolate a group of people off from society, whatever stories they tell themselves, whatever truths they believe in, they put themselves in a place where they're not going to be checked by the rest of society. So what happens is they go over the top. They become zealots. In their case here, they're all about, we're all about punishing criminals and justice and stuff like that. Yet they think part of that is wiping out a city full of people who have done nothing wrong. Sure, I know it's Gotham City, it's supposed to have a lot of criminals, a lot of corruption and stuff, but their efforts would be more unjust than anything going on in Gotham City, but they can't see that because they're isolated. Again, I grew up in a group of people that a similar thing happened to. The difference is we weren't ninjas. If Brother Brad told us to wipe out a city, we wouldn't even know where to start.
Will not become an executioner.
Yes, that's right. He's stronger than all of them. Whoa. Well, so much for him. That might be fun in different circumstances. Oh, that's not fun. Ow. Ah, my shoulder hurts just looking at it.
Long time. Yes, I have.
Alfred was just a phone call away.
There's a symbol that can be incorruptible. That can be everlasting.
Dr. Crane?
Mr. West.
Dr. Crane sounds familiar. Is he a character from the comics? It sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Yeah, this cave might be a handy place to hang out, right? We haven't seen Batman yet. Don't even seem close to seeing Batman yet, but I like how they're putting all the pieces together. Oh man, I don't even have a bat phobia, but I don't think I could just stand up while they're flying around. Plus, I've had to clean out bat-infested cabins, and I can tell you right now, that guy would be knee-deep in bat poop.
Earl told me exactly what it was when he sent me down here. Dead end. Place to keep me from causing the board any more trouble.
We're just being introduced to this guy. I already like him a lot.
No max survival suit for advanced infantry.
That looks a lot more imposing than, spandex.
In the town that's been, who's there to write to anyway?
Do you know who that guy with Gordon reminds me of? Brother Brad's right-hand man was a guy named Brother Tyler. Brother Tyler claimed to be like a war vet, but anytime you asked him like what war he fought in, he'd change the subject. He also said he was a Marine, and that the tattoo he had was a Marine tattoo, but the tattoo he had was a dolphin jumping through a hoop with a big smile on his face, which I'm pretty sure is not a Marine tattoo.
What's that?
Well, the tumbler? Oh, you wouldn't be interested in that.
I'm interested. Wow! Please tell me this is what the Batmobile is going to be. Oh! That reminds me, I'm doing driver's training next month. I'm finally going to be behind the wheel of a car, and I'm actually pretty excited that I'll be able to get around a little bit more on my own.
So what do you think?
Does it come in black?
No, but it comes in lime green. Finally. Finally, it's going to be Batman time.
What? What?
I can't help it, I'm so excited.
Where are you?
Whoa. I can't tell what's going on in the fights in these movies, other than a lot of people are getting their faces punched in. Well, I couldn't tell what was going on when it happened, but you gotta admire the end result.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
He doesn't quite look or sound how I imagined him. He's got that, well, it's all black. It's not the gray and black or the gray and blue. So for some reason that threw me a little bit when I first saw him, and his voice isn't quite what I imagined either. I guess when I imagine Batman talking, it's more of a regular voice, but it's cool to see him, no, regardless. This is the sort of thing that makes me nervous about going to the city. The next month here, I'm supposed to be visiting downtown Detroit for the first time. I guess I get nervous about the big city. I love when Batman disappears when they're not looking.
Bruce, it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
You know, that's a true point, but coming from her, it's another lecture. She's the one thing in the movie I don't like so far.
Even he can't get me in here. Not in my town.
This guy is so used to being the big fish, he has no idea when he's up against something bigger. I don't know what it is, but obviously Dr. Crane's not scared of him, and he's just not used to that.
They scream and they cry.
He's the Scarecrow. It's Dr. Crane is the Scarecrow. That's the gas he gives people that makes them freak out and be scared of it. Okay. Oh, that looks so cool. Just like Brother Tyler, man. He'd, like, grab food off your plate while he's walking by and smile because he knows you wouldn't say anything. Hate guys like that, and I really hope Batman... Oh! As Sister Helga used to say, from my mouth to the Lord Marduk's ear.
Do I look like a clown?
That was so satisfying to watch.
Must have been quite an occasion.
It is my birthday.
I know.
Happy birthday. I'm going to give you a lecture. That's your birthday present. I hate that the only, like, female character in the movie is this character who just keeps lecturing him and making these, like, big moralistic statements. Ugh.
He's here. Who? The Batman.
I get excited whenever he shows up. I love seeing all these tough guys get scared and panicky. It's great. You know, at first, I was a little disappointed. He didn't quite look like the Batman I had pictured, sound like the Batman I had pictured, but watch him in action is awesome. Yeah! Ooh! I knew that couldn't be the end of Ra's al Ghul. Oh! I think they're about to do one of my favorite scenes from the newer Batman comics I've read from Batman Year 1. The thing in his boot. Are the bats coming? Yeah! It's all he's got the thing in his boot that attracts all the bats. That is awesome. Whoa! I take back everything I said before about being disappointed that he doesn't look, you know, quite like how I pictured Batman. As the movie goes on more and more, I mean, him jumping down with the cape going out like that and everything. It's just awesome to see that. For real. I mean, not for real, but you know what I mean. Whoa! Someone's going to be ordering a lot of new shingles. I know I'm not supposed to be rooting for things like that to happen to police, but they're Gotham police, right? So I guess it's okay to think it's cool that their cars are being tossed around. Bravo for that entire part of the movie. From when he shows up at Crane's asylum and starts taking out those goons, to the bats, to the Batmobile chase. That was awesome.
You're not Ra's al Ghul. I watched him die.
But is Ra's al Ghul immortal?
I think I said earlier in the movie that he seemed more like Ra's al Ghul than that Asian person that they were saying was Ra's al Ghul. He is Ra's al Ghul. He's an awesome Ra's al Ghul, by the way.
Crime, despair. This is not how man was supposed to live. The League of Shadows has been a check against human corruption for thousands of years.
Again, they've lost touch with the real world, because that's what happens when you isolate yourself and you think you're better than other people. you get these ideas in your head. They're going to do greater evil in order to get rid of evil, but they can't see it that way because they're too far gone. Seriously, people like this, characters like this, they make me so angry. I honestly just can't wait to see Batman beat the snot out of these guys.
Still haven't given up on me. Never.
Sometimes wish I had an Alfred. Well, you know what? Kind of do have them now. I got people who care about me now. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get off on a tangent on that.
We're about to raise these bridges.
I'm a Gotham City district attorney. Let me pass.
See, he didn't want to get a lecture either. He was like, you know what? I'll let you through. Just don't lecture me.
Gordon, there's nobody left to send
I got goosebumps at that moment. That was great.
Wait. You could die. At least tell me your name.
Edgar. Ooh, nice landing. Ooh. Take him out, Batman. Ooh. Oh. It was, that fight was still confusing. I don't know why it is that it's hard to tell what's going on in the fights, but I could tell a little bit better in that one what was going on with Batman. Well, cleaning their clocks. I mean, that's the main thing, and because I could watch Batman just beat the tar out of bad guys all day. That looks kind of fun, actually. Oh! I take that back. That doesn't look fun at all now. Let's go. He's no ordinary man. Oh, there we go. Oh man, that train's not making it now.
I won't kill you. But I don't have to save you.
Isn't that still kind of like killing him? You know? Oh, that's a really cool shot.
I got another job. Yours. Didn't you get the memo?
I love how all bullies are getting comeuppance, I guess you'd call it, in this movie. Even that guy. It's just a very satisfying thing to watch. It's cold in Gotham. I'm sorry I said that. I shouldn't have said that. Objects that take you back to people who are gone, especially your parents, those are powerful things. Ironically enough, it's, you know, this is what takes me back to my mom. Oh, there it is. The real thing, the bat signal. Am I going to see the Joker? No, this is the end of the movie, but oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see the next one now.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
That's like a hero, someone who thinks like that. That was Batman Begins. So that was Batman Begins, and as you could probably tell, I really liked that, even though it took me a minute to get used to the way Batman looked and sounded, because it wasn't like the Batman that was in my head. But once I adjusted to that, I had a really good time. I liked that it took the time to build up Batman and show you how he became Batman. And like I said, I liked how other people were involved. I liked the relationship with Alfred. I thought, I call him Commissioner Gordon. It looks like he's not Commissioner yet, but I like Gordon a lot. And I forgot the name of the guy who wound up, as the leader of Wayne Enterprises. I liked all those characters. I did not love Rachel as a character. It just seemed like her purpose there was just to lecture and to get in trouble, to be saved. At the end, She did shoot Scarecrow in the face. That was cool. The rest of it I really liked. I really enjoyed. I can't wait to get into the next one. Same people made it. Same people are in it. Except that it looks like it's going to be the Joker, which is really excited about. A little update in my life here. To those of you who have been following these videos, you know that there was this girl named Elizabeth that I had grown up a bit with, but her family left the sibling brotherhood back when I was young. I'd always wondered what happened to her. Someone pointed her out to me on social media. I did actually reach out to her. Unfortunately, I got a message back from her that she's not interested in connecting right now. She said it's nothing against me or anything like that, but that wasn't a happy time in her life. She doesn't really want to rehash stuff from when her family was in the sibling brotherhood. And I mean, I can't blame her. I understand again, but yeah, it's disappointing. That would have been really cool. It would have been really fun to just find out what she's been up to and stuff. But I'm not going to push it any further. But again, it's disappointing. Anyway, I'm going to be, like I said, I think I'm going to be going into the next Batman film next. As of right now, I've actually done 2 music reactions that you haven't seen yet because I had to appeal the copyright block on them. And hopefully they'll be freed up soon and you'll be able to check them out. In the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe. Not only am I reacting to things, but I'm going to be starting to go out into the world to explore things, to see what's out there. And my next big adventure, well, probably the first big adventure you guys are going to see, I'm going to check out a skate park. My third cousin Daniel, who I live with here, his 2 sons, they skateboard and scooter at a local skate park. I'm going to go check that out and see how I can handle some of that action. But otherwise, like I said, just come back here, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon.